Let's get started. And please do like and subscribe if you enjoy this content. So, we're going to go right through the daily routine today, pretty straight, following the daily routine that I do. So, this is my version of the daily energy routine. Okay, so let's start on the cheekbones. And we're going to take nice deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. That helps to move the energy along the central channel. You want to feel your feet connected to the floor. So I like to start my daily routine not just with the 4 thumps, which is the standard beginning exercise in the daily routine for the Eden method, but I like to add in grounding. So I kind of combine these two. I do something that I call 3-way grounding. You can find a video for that here on my YouTube channel. You can do it by itself. You don't have to do the thumps with it. I do recommend doing grounding, especially if you are in a time of a lot of transition. So we're just going to breathe and tap and start sending the energy down through the bottoms of the feet. Feel the connection of the feet to the floor. Feel yourself becoming fully present. It's a good practice when you're doing your daily routine. You really want to bring in body awareness, awareness of the moment, and become fully present in the moment. And that will heighten your ability to sense the movement of energy in your system. I know that's something everybody wants to feel, and a lot of people get frustrated because they feel like they aren't noticing it. So now I'm coming to right under the inner edge of the collarbone. So there's the inner edge of my collarbone, going right underneath that for this next tap. This is the end of the kidney line, the K27 point. So these are good, solid taps. I'm going a little lightly just because my microphone is right there, but you will want to do a nice solid tap that would maybe leave a little red mark. You certainly don't want to bruise yourself, but this is intended to stimulate the energy of that kidney meridian line. And of course, the kidney meridian starts at the bottom of the foot. This is part of our grounding. And if you'd like, you can inhale and bring the energy up through the bottoms of the feet. Exhale, send it out. It's a nice recycling of energy through your system. A nice refresh. And feel your feet really sinking in. You might envision them sinking into the earth. Again, this is a time to slow down. We don't rush through this part. And the slower you go, the more deliberately you do these exercises, the more you're going to get out of them. So just allow yourself to relax into it. Now we're coming to the center of the sternum. This is for the thymus gland. You're going to give that a good solid tap. Let's turn our attention now to the little toe. We're going to ground the energy coming out of the bladder line. So that ends at the tip of your little toe, and you can just envision little beams of light coming out. Both of those little toes, send those down into the earth. And when we go into the earth with our energy, we want to go at least 15 feet in because we want to find a nice stable layer. And the energy on the surface of the planet is not so stable. So we go a little bit deeper. So feel for that as you go into the planet, into the earth with your energy. Remember that the energy of the earth is very stabilizing for you. And just like all electrical appliances need grounding, we need grounding in the same way. Your system needs grounding. You have a lot of electrical energy. And so a nice few deep breaths here, sending that down. And now we're going to come to under the breast for the spleen neurolymphatic points. You're directly under the breast here. You can either rub or tap, whatever is most comfortable for you. And let's turn our attention now to the tailbone. Send the energy out the tip of your tailbone and down into the earth. Now, I like to close my eyes as I do this because that's helpful for me. See what works best for you. Visualizing is also one way to move the energy. You can move a lot of energy just with your intention. Some people need to feel into it. Some people need to visualize. See what works best for you. And you can still bring the energy back up through the bottoms of the feet if you'd like. And start really tuning into what your body is doing, what you're feeling. You want to really observe and see what you notice as you go through these exercises. This is how we become acquainted with our systems. This is how we understand what our own energy system is doing. Each person is unique. Okay, now let's come to the side of the body. You're about one hand width under the armpit here. This is the end of the spleen line. It's called spleen 21. And you're tapping here. And again, this is working with the spleen meridian line. We're just bringing the energy up. That spleen meridian line is really nourishing for the body, helps counteract the stress response. In Eden method, Eden energy medicine, we give a lot of attention to the spleen line. And we'll just take these last few breaths to really get a feel for our grounding. So you want to notice how you feel right now. You may feel a little heavier. You may feel some weight in your legs or your feet. Hopefully you're feeling a lot more present, coming out of your head, and just moving into body awareness. Okay, now I like to flush the spleen line. So we're going to start right here at spleen 21. We're going to inhale up and exhale down the sides of the breasts, inside the hip, inside the knee, in front of the ankle, and off of the big toe. And now we're going to inhale back up. And exhale off spleen 21, and we'll do that 2 more times. Good, and you can just let that energy settle. Holding your hands to your sides like this is a nice grounding technique. You can always just pause and take a couple breaths like this. Now we're going to go into the crossover. We're going to do the homolateral crossover. This is my preferred version of the crossover because it's the most effective one, if you ask me. So what we're going to do is bring the hand to the knee, starting with the same side of the body. This is a marching in place exercise. So you want to hand to knee, same side. We're going to count to 12. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And now the palms are towards the floor. Nice deep breath in and out, in through the nose and out through the mouth. And now we're going to cross, pulling the energy across the body. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and breathe. So we do 3 rounds of those. We're back to straight. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and breathe. You can go as quickly as you like with this. So find the pace that works for you. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and breathe. And if you need to, you can do this seated. So if you're sitting down, you're just going to be, I'll just imagine that I'm sitting here. You would just bring your knee up and tap it, just like that, in a seated position. So here we go. Last set straight. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Breathe. And now we finish with 24 crossing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Palms to the floor. Let's take a couple nice deep breaths, settling the energy and grounding. This helps to stabilize that cross pattern. See what you notice. If that exercise is difficult for you, that's a good sign that your crossover is probably off. Okay, now I'm going to grab my stool. This is for the Wayne Cook. I'll have you find a seat. And I'll show you the modification in just a minute. I'll go ahead and start with the full version. Put my left foot up on my right knee. The right hand goes on the ankle. The left hand grabs the bottom of the foot. And we're just going to hold here. Now, if that doesn't work for your joints, you can cross the left foot over the right, bring the arms in front of you back to back, bring the left hand up, palms come together, fingers interlace, and turn it in and hold there. You can do this lying down if you need to. So don't worry too much about form with these exercises. They've evolved quite a bit over time, and you can really get a lot of benefit even if you have to modify. So I'm going back to this version. I'm just going to hold here. And breathe. So we do pull up just a bit with the breath on the inhale. So this is an upward pull through the center of your body, and then exhale, relax down. You aren't pulling up on your foot, you're pulling up through the center of the body. Now, I really like to sink into this exercise. I like to make this mindful. This is an excellent opportunity to bring in some good mindful awareness, awareness of the breath. So see what happens as you do that. Let's practice that. You want to turn your attention to the breath. Focus entirely on the breath. Breath coming in and breath going out. And just stay with that. See if you can't find a nice rhythm with your breath here, pulling up on the inhale, relaxing down on the exhale, feeling yourself centered and fully present. Awareness of your hands, awareness of your feet. And notice if it's easy for you to go into this nice, relaxed state, or if there's resistance to that. This is an excellent place to do some good noticing. Notice how you are in this moment, what you're carrying. Now you can hold this as long as you would like to. What you'll start to notice is that you'll feel your body settling in. You might sigh, you might yawn, or you might feel your body soften. Those are all good signs that the energy is coming into alignment. At that point, you can switch sides. You can also hold this for a long time. So, you can hold just this exercise at any time of the day. Like when you're watching TV, it's a great time because if you hold it for a long time, you can really anchor in some nice patterning. Now we're going to switch sides. The right foot comes up on the left knee. The left hand is on the ankle. The right hand grabs the bottom of the foot. We'll do the same thing here. Hold and follow the breath. We also get a really nice stretch with this one. Now, if it feels like there's any discomfort for you or this becomes painful as you hold it, then please release the hold, go to the modification. Again, we're following the breath and noticing. What this exercise does is creates a nice crossover pattern in the brain that brings balance between our physiological stress response in the brain stem and the cognitive processing that happens in the forebrain. The net result of that is that we are calmer, A, and it calms down emotional reactions of all types. It also has the effect of organizing your whole system. So if there's chaos in the system, this exercise will often be out of alignment. This is called the Wayne Cook exercise. Now let's bring that foot down, bring all of the fingertips together. The thumbs come to the brow. We're going to take 2 deep breaths here. We're connecting the meridians through the arms, connecting those into the 6th chakra. It taps into the nervous system and also to your center of mental processing. Now we're going to bring the fingers together at the center of the forehead, push in and pull apart with nice pressure down the sides of the face. Let your hands rest in your lap and see what you notice. And let's come right back up to the hairline for the crown pull. You're going to push in on the inhale. On the exhale, pull an inch to either side. Moving across the top of the head. And down the back of the head. Nice firm pressure. Helps to open up the crown chakra and release excess mental energy. And down the back of the neck. It's a nice release of tension in the neck. And when you get to the shoulders, you want to squeeze and take a deep breath in. And exhale and drag with a little pressure over the shoulders and to the front. Okay, and I'm going to stand up for our neurolymphatics. If you have the book or a handout of the daily routine, you'll see that there's a whole chart of neurolymphatics. You don't need to do all of them every day. You can do just a few. I always choose just a few to do today. I'm going to start on the sternum for lung. So we're starting at the base of the sternum. We're just going to work our way up. You can work your way up or down, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what direction you rub. What's most important with these is the pressure that you use. You want to really stimulate these neurolymphatic points. Each one is associated with a meridian line, and it's going to move toxins out of the meridian line. So toxins in meridians tend to be things like emotions or residual electromagnetic energy that you might have picked up from something. It can also be the residual energy of viruses, other pathogens, someone else's energy. This is a nice way to bring balance to meridians. So if you're working on a meridian, you know you have issues in a certain meridian, you can work the neurolymphatics for that meridian every day, and that's really going to help clear that meridian and balance the flow of energy. Okay, we're going to move an inch to either side of the sternum now and get lung and gallbladder points. I'm just going to work my way up. I'm not worrying about hitting the exact spot. I know that if I'm going over the area, that's good enough. So you'll want to refer to your chart of neurolymphatics. You can look that up online. If you don't have one, you can probably just find a nice visual online that you might even be able to print out. And let's move now under the collarbone. We're just going to work our way across under the collarbone. I usually do about 30 seconds on these, on each one, but if you do them regularly, you don't need to spend as much time. Now, you may notice that some of them are a little bit tender. Often that means that they need work, unless there's some other obvious reason, like you've got sore muscles in that area or you have some sort of injury. If you have an injury, please don't put pressure on the area. If you need to, you can work these in the field. Now, it's better to do it on the body. But if it's not possible, or if you've got arthritis in your fingers and it just doesn't work for you, you can just do them with intention and you can do them in the field. So I'm moving now to where my arm meets my body. This is for the central meridian line. I'm just going to dig in there. I like to be very thorough with these because I think there's so much to gain. And now we're coming to the deltoid from doing these. So this is just a line on top of the deltoid. You can go more slowly and really dig in. And the front of the shoulder, there's one little spot there for kidney. It's associated with trauma. And that was kidney on the deltoid as well. Okay, now we're going to go across under the other collarbone. And we're getting a stomach point. They're the same on both sides. I always do both sides for good measure, good balance in your body. And this is governing meridian. And now we're moving out to where the arm meets the body for central meridian. You know, if it's comfortable for you to do both sides at once, you can. You don't need to do one and then the other. And let's do the top of the deltoid. You want to notice what you feel as you do these. You may feel some shifting. It may, energy is subtle. Keep that in mind. You may notice something that's a very defined sensation. Others may not be defined. You may notice emotion moving. All of that can be energy. It might move anywhere in your body. Remember that everything is connected. Okay. So those are the only ones that we're going to do today. But again, refer back to your chart. So now I'm going to have you find your navel. We're going to travel to the back side. There's a point exactly opposite the navel. It's right on the spine. We're going to rub to either side of the spine. This is called the Mingmen point. You're really going to dig in there to stimulate the energy of this point. You can stretch and pull a little bit as you do. This connects into something called the penetrating flow. It also helps stimulate the belt flow, which is what we'll do next. Now, while you're here, you can move up the spine a bit if you'd like. We have more neurolymphatic points up the spine, up and down. You can move across the sacrum. And just remember, all of this is good for moving energy. Energy needs to move. When we get stuck energy is when we start to have problems. Excess energy in an area can cause pain. It can cause growths. Okay, now we're going to take the energy from the Mingmen point and we're going to pull it around the waist to the opposite leg, all the way down and off that foot. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side, across the waist and down and off the foot. We'll do that one more time on each side. This is the belt flow. I like to do this one. It's not part of the original daily routine. Okay, now that feels really good. Now we're going to finish the daily routine with the zip up and hook up. So you're going to come to your pubic bone and you're going to trace straight up the center of the body. We're going to inhale as we pull up, reach up overhead, and exhale down to the side. So you're really getting a nice stretch here. We'll do it 2 more times. But now you're going to take your 2 middle fingers. One goes in the navel, the other one comes to the brow. Right here between the eyebrows, you're going to push in and pull up with both and hold. And this is called the hookup. Now, this finishes your daily routine. And what this is doing is connecting the central meridian up the front of the body and the governing meridian, which runs up the spine and over the top of the head. They connect at the back of your throat. This helps to lock in all of the good changes that you're making. Usually you want to hold this for 30 seconds to 1 minute, but again, you'll just want to see what you feel, what you notice. So tune into your body. See if you have any moments of yawning, sighing, or relaxing. That's my breath moving the energy. Your breath might do something similar. All things to pay attention to, right? When we get into noticing what's happening in the body. Now, if this is your first time going through the routine, you may not notice much, and that's okay. The more you work with energy, the more you're going to feel. So, a lot of times I usually say it takes a couple of weeks for the benefits to really settle in and for you to start feeling those changes, although for some people it might be longer. What you'll notice though is if you're having an off day and you do the routine, you should feel better. It's kind of giving your body a place to come home to, a nice balanced place. This can help reduce your stress considerably. It can help with all kinds of imbalances in your energy system. And over time, you're just building in a lot of good resiliency. You're creating a really nice, stable container when you do the routine. You don't have to go as slowly as I do. You can do it more quickly, though I do recommend that at least once a week you take your time with it. Really let those exercises sink in. Okay, so that concludes our daily energy routine.